Since always, some phrases slip from your mouth as if they were just passing emotions. Things like, I don't fit in here. I feel it before it happens. I just want peace. But deep down, you know, there's something more there. These words come from the heart, as if they were carrying an ancient memory, as if they were reminders from the soul. What seems like a simple comment is actually a spiritual revelation. The chosen almost always say these phrases without realizing it, as if speaking to themselves. But the Spirit knows what it's doing, because each phrase, each sigh, each deep thought is your essence, trying to remember who you are and why you came. These phrases are not by chance. They repeat in those who carry a calling, in those who can no longer bear living among superficiality, in those who feel too much, in those who long for peace but haven't yet found their place. These words reveal what the heart already understands, but the mind hasn't yet learned how to translate. If you've been saying these things often, take a deep breath and stay here. This is not a coincidence. You are in a process of awakening, and each phrase that carries pain also carries a key, a bridge between what you feel and what is being revealed at the right time. You are not alone. There are many like you waking up right now. I'm George, and this channel is your space of recognition, of welcome, of reunion with who you've always been. If this content touches you, follow the channel and stay close. There's a lot coming that will help your journey make even more sense. Welcome to your awakening. I don't feel like I belong here. From an early age, you realize that something about you doesn't quite match your surroundings. Even among people you love, there's a lingering sense of not fitting in. You listen to conversations, join gatherings, but still feel like you're always observing from the outside. It's not isolation. It's as if your soul knows it came from somewhere else. This feeling isn't arrogance, nor is it drama. It's spiritual. While many are content with the surface, you crave depth. You can't engage with what's shallow, superficial, or forced. Something within you rejects the superficial, as if your frequency is already attuned to another reality. A reality that's lighter, purer, more truthful. You feel as though you remember a higher vibration, a home you've never seen, but somehow recognize within. Sometimes it comes as longing, other times as restlessness. You look around and think, what am I doing here? But the truth is, you're exactly where you need to be, even if you don't feel like you belong. The feeling of, I don't belong, shows up early. As a child, you questioned things too much. As a teen, you felt disconnected from the interests of most. And in adulthood, the discomfort grew. But this unease isn't a flaw. It's a compass. It leads you to places where your light is needed, where your difference becomes a bridge, not a burden. Over time, you begin to accept this. You begin to understand that being different is exactly what protects you. You start to honor the sensitivity you used to hide. And you realize there are others like you. People awakening, seeking meaning, wanting more than the world has to offer. That creates a new feeling, true belonging. You begin to connect with souls who vibrate like yours, people who speak from the heart, who understand silence, who aren't afraid of depth. And then something shifts. The pain of not belonging gives way to the realization that you were simply looking in the wrong place. Now your light finds mirrors, and that heals. Every time you say, I don't feel like I belong here, know this. That phrase is a code, a reminder, a signal that your soul is already awake. You didn't come here to fit into what's collapsing. You came to anchor what's unsteady. This is your mission, and you are already living the beginning of it. I feel it before it happens. Have you ever had that moment when something inside you screams, but no one else notices? Your intuition tightens, your chest feels heavy, your mind is on alert. You try to ignore it, but you can't. And then everything unfolds exactly the way you felt it would. It wasn't paranoia, nor coincidence. It was your spirit speaking before the facts arrived. Chosen ones experience this often. They feel before they see. They know before they understand. It's as if the soul is one step ahead, picking up on invisible signals. A strange dream, a heavy feeling, a silence that speaks. All of these are spiritual warnings. Subtle ways the invisible shows you what's coming. At first, you doubt yourself. You think you're just being dramatic, overly sensitive. But after so many confirmations, you start to trust that feeling. You start to realize your body is a radar, that your soul detects what's hidden, that your intuition is a gift, not a flaw. And that changes everything. You feel people's energy before they speak. You know when someone is lying, even if their words are rehearsed. You sense change approaching, even when everything seems stable. This isn't magic. It's spiritual sensitivity. It's connection with dimensions the eyes can't see, but the spirit recognizes. This gift protects you. It warns you of danger. It guides you toward aligned decisions. But it also weighs heavily, because feeling so much before anyone else makes you vulnerable. Sometimes you wish you could pretend you didn't notice, but you can't. What you feel is real, and ignoring it only disconnects you from yourself. You don't need to prove anything or explain too much. Those who carry this gift know that the answers arrive in due time, that feeling is its own language, and that the spirit speaks before the mind. Your role is to listen, to respect it, and to act with wisdom, even when no one understands what you've already seen inside. The phrase, "I feel it before it happens," is more than just a vent. It's a code, a reminder that you've been equipped to sense what most ignore, and that is a precious gift. The world needs people who feel, who warn, who guide, and you are one of those people. Don't hide. Your sensitivity is your shield and your lantern. It will show you where to stop, where to move forward, who comes with truth, and who approaches with falsehood. The more you honor this feeling, the more life responds. You were chosen for this, and you're more ready each day to trust what already pulses within you. I just want peace. When a chosen one says they just want peace, they're not running away from life. They're asking for a space where they can breathe without burden. It's a deep request from the soul, not the ego. After feeling so much, fighting so much, staying silent for so long, all they want is lightness. No more confusion, just calm in the heart. Asking for peace is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of spiritual maturity. The chosen one has already been through many inner and outer storms. They've tried to mold themselves to please others. They've exhausted themselves trying to fix what was never theirs. They've endured too much until realizing that peace isn't optional, it's a necessity. It's healing. It's a kind of freedom that cannot be negotiated. While many ask for success, fame, or applause, the chosen one asks for peace. They want to wake up feeling light. They want conversations without heaviness. They want to be in places where they can be whole, without shrinking. They no longer want to explain themselves, nor live in constant alertness. They want to live in truth, to have silence inside, even when there's noise outside. The search for peace arises when the chosen one is tired of giving without receiving, of smiling while broken, of pretending everything's fine while the soul is screaming. There comes a point when they understand that protecting their energy is more important than being available for everyone, and so they choose peace. True peace is not about isolation. It's about alignment. The chosen one starts filtering environments, conversations, connections, not because they think they're better, but because they've learned to take care of their frequency. They realize that where there is no peace, their soul closes. And where there is truth, it blossoms. They begin to choose with the heart, and that changes everything. They start walking slower, but with more steadiness. Speaking less, but with more truth. Connecting less, but giving more. They begin to value silence, space, time alone. And they discover that solitude can be a gift, if it brings peace. Because their own presence is sacred too. Peace, for the chosen one, is like fertile soil. It's where they create, feel, and connect with the invisible. Without it, everything feels heavy. With it, everything begins to make sense. They realize they don't need much, just truth, just respect, just real presence. And everything that doesn't vibrate with that, they learn to let go. This phrase may seem simple, but it carries a silent cry. It's the heart saying, I can't live in war anymore. It's the spirit asking, let me breathe. And when that peace arrives, even if slowly, the chosen one blooms. They don't just live more lightly. They become a point of lightness for those around them. I know I have a purpose. I just don't know what it is. This phrase carries a silent truth. The chosen one feels, from a very young age, that their life has a greater meaning. Even when everything seems normal on the outside, inside there's a calling. It's like a seed pulsing, an echo that says, you're not here by accident. But they still don't know exactly what they came here to do. This uncertainty is not a sign of failure. It's part of the process. The purpose of a chosen one isn't revealed all at once. It appears slowly, in fragments, in moments that seem small but strike deep. In a conversation, in a dream, in a gesture. The spirit sends signs little by little, as if saying, pay attention, this is the way. The phrase, I know I have a purpose, is a spiritual confirmation. It's the spirit saying it remembers, that even with all the doubts, something inside knows it was sent here for something greater. Not out of ego, but out of mission. And even without knowing the how, the chosen one feels the yes. And that yes is built with courage. Purpose lies in what moves you, in what stirs your emotions, in what lights you up. It's in the gifts you're afraid to show, in the talents you've hidden because you didn't think you were enough, in the pain that taught you compassion. Purpose is everything you thought was a burden, but was actually preparation. And when you begin to live more aligned, the pieces start to fit. What seemed like loss becomes direction. What hurt becomes strength. What felt meaningless begins to form a path. And you understand. What happened to you wasn't punishment. It was structure. It was ground. It was foundation. So that at the right time, you could carry the mission. This phrase is not a lament. It's a reminder. If you feel that you have a purpose, it's because you do. And even if you don't yet know what it is, keep listening, seeking, feeling. One day, everything will be revealed, not through outer grandeur, but through inner clarity. The heart will say, it's here, and you'll know you've arrived. The chosen one needs to trust, even in doubt, even in the dark, because the purpose is greater than they imagine. And often, the mission isn't to be seen. It's to transform in silence, to be light where no one else sees, to be an answer where there was only pain. And all of that is already inside you, waiting to be lived. I feel different from other people. You've tried to fit in. You've tried to be like everyone else, go with the flow, be part of the group. But something inside you always pulled you back inward. It's as if your soul was saying, this is not your path. And this isn't pride, It's simply confirmation that you weren't born to live on autopilot. While everyone is content with the surface, you dive deep. While most laugh, you notice the hidden sadness in someone's eyes. While many ignore signs, you feel them in your body. This difference isn't a flaw. It's spiritual sensitivity. It's proof that you came with a soul code few can understand. And the most beautiful part is that, even being different, you still try to love. You still try to help. You still try to belong, even when you know that this belonging comes at the cost of your own truth. But a moment comes when you understand you no longer need to dim your light to be accepted. Your difference is exactly what the world needs. You came to remind others of what's been forgotten, to shine light where there is darkness, to transform what is stuck in repetition. And for that, you had to feel differently, think differently, vibrate differently. Your difference is not a burden. It's a tool. It's not weakness. It's spiritual strength in the form of perception. Over time, you learn to honor that feeling. You learn to trust your own intuition, to protect your energy, to get close to those who vibrate at the same frequency. You realize you no longer need to force yourself into spaces that don't welcome you. You can choose where to place your light, your time, your soul. Being different isn't being better. It's being called to something different. It's having a mission that requires sensitivity. It's being like a living radar for truth. And that mission, no matter how lonely it may feel, finds purpose when you stop fighting against yourself and begin to live as you truly are. If you feel different, don't try to fix yourself. Accept yourself. Embrace yourself. Listen to yourself. The world needs more truth. And you are one of the few who still has the courage to feel it. Your soul is a compass, and the more you follow it, the closer you get to the life that is truly yours. There's something in me that no one understands. This phrase is often spoken in silence, when you try to explain what you feel, but no one gets it. When your words sound exaggerated to those who live with closed hearts. When you realize you feel the world in a way that can't be put into words. And so, you go quiet. But that silence is heavy. You feel as though you're carrying something big, but invisible. A force that lives in you, but the world hasn't seen yet. And that creates a different kind of loneliness. It's not the absence of people. It's the absence of understanding. It's that look that says you're overreacting, when in truth you're simply being honest about what you feel. There's something in you that's hard to explain. A deep sensitivity, an intense love, a perception that sees before, feels before, understands before. And that scares people who aren't ready. It even scares you sometimes, because it feels like your soul is always more awake than your own mind. As if your spirit already knows what you're still about to discover. You try to adjust. Try to simplify yourself. Try to hide. But the more you hide it, the more this thing pulses. The more the calling grows. The more this sensitivity pushes you out of your masks. You realize that what makes you different cannot be erased, because it is the foundation of your mission. It's the essence of who you are. That something no one understands is what connects you to the invisible. It's what allows you to heal without touching, to soothe without speaking. It's what makes people open up to you without knowing why. It's presence, it's energy, it's calling, and it doesn't need to be explained, only lived in truth. What no one understands in you is actually your most valuable part. It's where your connection with the divine lives. It's the flame that sets you apart, but also lifts you higher. And when you care for it, honor it, protect it, everything around you begins to shift, because your energy starts to vibrate higher, clearer, more alive. So next time you think, "There's something in me that no one understands," remember, that's a gift, not a flaw. It's part of your mission. It's a sign that you carry something rare. And the chosen ones are not always understood, but they are always essential. I can't ignore what I feel. There are moments when you try. You try to act like it's nothing. You try to stick to your routine, smile, be strong, pretend everything is fine. But inside, something is screaming. You feel what no one sees. You feel the pain behind someone's smile. You feel when the atmosphere gets heavy. You feel when the soul is asking for attention. And the most challenging part is that you can't switch off this feeling. There's no pause button. You feel everything, before, during, and after. You feel when something is going to go wrong. You feel when a decision isn't aligned. You feel when someone is lying. It's as if your body and soul are constantly communicating on a frequency no one else hears. Sometimes you try to convince yourself that you're overreacting. You try to stay quiet, try to distract yourself. But it doesn't work, because the feeling returns. It shows up in the middle of the night, in the silence of a shower, in someone's gaze. It becomes a tightness in your chest, unexplained anxiety, tears you don't even know the reason for. The chosen one feels because they were made to feel. Feeling is not weakness, it's radar, it's compass. It's a sign that your soul is active, awake, connected. While many lie numbed, you feel too much. And yes, it can be exhausting. But it's also what protects you, what guides you, what warns you when everything seems unclear. Trusting what you feel is one of the greatest lessons for the chosen one. Because the world will try to convince you that feeling is a waste of time, that it's better to be rational, cold, distant. But you can't, because your soul vibrates differently. And it didn't come to fit in. It came to transform. And feeling is the first step to transformation. When you accept what you feel, you begin to walk in more truth. You choose your company better. You avoid what's not good for you. You distance yourself from draining environments. You learn to say no without guilt. Because now, you're listening to your own soul. And when it says something isn't right, you respect it, even if you don't understand it right away. Chosen ones are guided by that feeling. And the more they trust it, the more life flows. Because the soul knows the path before the mind. It feels what the heart hasn't yet understood. And when you choose to follow that intuition, even without proof, you discover that the invisible is more precise than everything the world calls logic. So next time you say, "I can't ignore what I feel," understand, that's a gift. It's protection. It's your soul in motion. Don't fight it. Honor it. Listen. Walk with that feeling. Because it is exactly what will lead you to where your mission is waiting. And there, everything will make sense. You may have thought these phrases were just vents, words said in a moment of exhaustion, confusion, or pain. But now you understand, they're so much more than that. They're soul codes. Small spiritual keys that reveal that something inside you is already moving, awakening, remembering who you are. The chosen one doesn't awaken all at once. They begin to notice little by little, through signs, sensations, and phrases they've carried since always. These are words born of the spirit that escape the chest while the mind is still trying to understand. When you say, "I don't belong here," or "I just want peace," you're speaking a deep truth your soul already knows. These phrases are like markers on the journey of someone who has been called. They appear at turning points, when things start to feel tight on the inside, when the old no longer fits and the new hasn't yet arrived. That's when the spirit begins to speak, not with shouts, but with whispers. And the first sign is in what you say without realizing. Maybe you've said all of these phrases. Maybe you'll still say some of them. But if at any moment you felt out of place, too sensitive, misunderstood, restless about your mission, or tired of superficiality, then the answer is here. You are a chosen one, and your soul is starting to remember. To remember that it was made to feel, to heal, to transform, to break cycles, bring light, and teach what no one else had the courage to teach. And even if you don't understand it all yet, even if the purpose still feels far away, the simple fact that you're here, seeking, reading, feeling, already shows that the journey has begun. Every phrase you once said in pain now becomes a seed of strength. Every moment of confusion is now a path toward clarity. You are not lost. You are being repositioned. The process may be silent, but it is powerful. Because once the spirit wakes up, it never goes back to sleep. And the chosen one is never the same after awakening. You're not too much. You're not unstable. You're not too different. You are sensitive because you carry the gift of spiritual vision. You feel deeply because you were shaped to see what others ignore. You're disturbed by the chaos because you were born to be a channel of healing. All of this is a sign, not a flaw. If any of these phrases are part of your story, write in the comments. Now I know who I am. That is your way of recognizing, of affirming to yourself that the awakening has begun. My name is George, and this channel exists to walk with you on this journey. Here, you are not alone. You are in process. And in this process, everything begins to make sense.